Well, here's my breakup story. Here's my um, MacBook breakup story. A few years ago, I was invited for Thanksgiving by my father-in-law at that time, and after the Thanksgiving dinner, we were sitting at the table. He was online. He was on his phone online. He was looking for some Black Friday deals. He asked me if I could order something for him at that time, and my phone was dead. So I went to my car and then I grabbed my MacBook, and he came over to show me what he wanted me to order. And somehow he managed to end up spilling the wine that it was in his hand. He managed to end up spilling it on my MacBook. I was beyond upset. I was upset at myself. I was upset at him. I was upset at everybody in the house at that time. I just couldn't believe it. I just purchased this MacBook a few weeks ago before that dinner, and I could not believe what had just happened. I turned it upside down. I immediately shut it off and turned it upside down. I asked for a hair dryer and some napkins, and I started just dabbing the crap out of the MacBook, and using the hair dryer on it at the same time. I forgave him. I didn't turn it on until the next day, just to be sure that you know it was completely dry. I took out the logic board when I got home, and I continued the drying, and then when I finally turned it on, yes, it was working, thank God. A few weeks went by. Christmas time now. It's Christmas time, and we get invited to Christmas dinner again. So I I'm sitting with my father-in-law right after the dinner, and he used to like deals. He used to like cheap things. So he's online again, and he says, "Oh, can you order me this?" And then I'm like, "Can you give me a list of what you want?" Because I forgot to bring my laptop. My girlfriend, not noticing that I was actually lying to my father-in-law because of what had happened a few weeks before that. She says, "Oh no, no, the computer is in your MacBook is in the car. It's on the back seat." So she continues to tell him that I had the MacBook. I tried to use some signs, use my eyes to say that I didn't have the MacBook, and my girlfriend didn't read the signs. So she steps outside while I'm talking to my father-in-law, and she grabs the MacBook, and I asked my father-in-law what he wants, and he he comes over and he's showing me what he wants, and I'm ordering it for him, and he's got this glass of wine again in his hands. He used to like to drink, so he has a glass of wine in his hands again, and I'm praying to God, I'm praying to Allah, I'm praying to the sun, I'm praying to the moon, I'm praying to Jesus, I'm praying to Mary, the mother of Jesus, and I'm praying to everybody. I'm just saying, please God, don't let this guy repeat what happened at Thanksgiving. While that thought was in my head, while I was having my prayers, he somehow manages to spill the wine right onto the middle of the keyboard. I was beyond upset. I wanted to punch him in the face, but how could I have punched my father-in-law? I I I was very close, but I controlled myself. I shut the computer immediately and shut it off, and I turned it upside down. I asked for a hair dryer again. I felt like it was deja vu all over again. I asked for a hair dryer, and I started driving the crap out of the MacBook with it upside down. I dabbed the keyboard with napkins, paper towels, anything that I could find that could get rid of the moisture. I took some of the keys off, and I just continued the drying. And this lasted for about a good hour. I was beyond scared of turning it on. I wasn't sure if it was going to ever work again. My father-in-law at that time apologized profusely, but I wasn't sure if this apology was out of scorn, if he was laughing at me, because he had just done the same thing at Thanksgiving, and here was a repeat. So I wasn't sure if he was laughing at me, if he was telling, if this was his signal. He was telling me to get the hell out of his family, to break up with his daughter. I contemplated the breakup at that time, and I said to myself, you know what, this guy is a liability. I don't think if we ever have kids, I would leave him with my kids. He can't even take care of my electronics. He can't even be careful around my electronics. How am I going to trust him to be careful with my kids when we drop them off for the day when he's home? So I did the most sensible thing that anybody could do. I waited a few days after Thanksgiving, and broke up with my girlfriend. I wanted to make sure that this guy would never see any grandkids from me and my girlfriend, that this guy would never be a babysitter to us. How could I trust this guy? If he could not take care of my computer, if he could not be careful around my MacBook, how could I trust him to be careful around my kids? The guy was a liability, and I did the most sensible thing that any guy would do. We broke up. That is my MacBook story, and I'm sticking to it.